Alright, and welcome back to our building a website start to finish series. So far we've added the background image and had it repeat on the x-axis and made the background color the same hue as the bottom of the gradient so that it's seamless down here. Now let's start working on some of our CSS here. We're going to put the background image in and even the logo, and then we're going to start working on just some straight CSS before we start putting some more images in. Let's go over to our CSS, and for the header, let's scroll down here. We're going to make the background image and browse, and we're going to find the header background. So bg_header, and this time we're going to make the repeat property no repeat, and we'll make the position top and center, and there's that. Now some of it's getting clipped, and that's because of how we have this set up, since we don't have any sizing done here. Let's flip over to Photoshop again really quick. We'll close this color picker and let's click over here to our header, and let's do a Control A for select all, and that's going to allow us to see over here in the info palette what the width of this is, and it's 987. So let's come over here, and just for now let's go ahead and make the overall wrap 987. So width 987 pixels, and the reason why, I could do it in the header, but this is going to go ahead and force everything that's within the wrap to be 987, because by default these are all block items that are going to stretch 100%. So there we go. Now the next thing we need to do is flip back over to Photoshop, and let's get our header size, and that's 82. Or our header height, that is. So let's come in here and say height 82 pixels, and it's important to remember to put your px here or whatever the unit's going to be, otherwise you won't get the result you want. So there's that, and these things are bumping into each other, and we'll fix that next or soon. Let's go ahead and save this and flip back over to our source code. And the reason why these are together is because our navigation is actually inside of this header, and because of this list it's bigger than what we've allowed. So let's go ahead and remove this here, and we'll just get rid of the entire H1 tag. And to save time, as I've noted before, I really like not using the Dreamweaver interface too much for making my code for me, but when dropping an image in, it's pretty easy to just come over here and find it. So let's get the logo and drag it right here in the code where we want it, and it's automatically going to plop out the code, and it'll give us this little dialog box here, and we can go ahead and give it some alt text, which we'll just say for now, and go ahead and let's give this image a class. We'll call this logo. Let's save this. Let's go ahead and go to the CSS, and let's go down here by our header. Let's make another rule. And what this is saying is, inside the header we're looking for an image with the class name logo, and the only reason I did this class is just in case we ever put another image in here. This allows us to do this without screwing it up. Otherwise we could just say header image if we just decided there's not going to be any other images in here, but I don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and give this some margin, and give it a margin top. sorry, we'll give it margin here, and on the top we're going to do, let's say 20 pixels. We could go into Photoshop and actually measure it, but let's just do some messing around. Hey, we're pretty close there. And what this is doing is 20 pixels all the way around. So let's try, let's go ahead and add a 20 pixels here, because I actually like the distance it is here. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that that stays that way. But let's add like maybe 2 more pixels to the top and bottom, and now let's maybe even try 4. And 5. That's good. That's good. If we need to come back and change it later, we may. Well, let's go ahead and do 25 on the bottom and 25 on the left, and turn this right side into 0, because it doesn't really matter. Sorry, that was 20, but actually I like that. Let's keep it that way. So now we got our logo position. The next thing we need to do is style this navigation here. So let's save. Let's come down here. First, let's go to our source code and just clarify that this is going to be the main nav, or nav main. And so now we know we can come down here. And the first things first, let's go ahead and do some margins and paddings. We'll do margin 0 pixels, padding 0 pixels. And we will come in and change this most likely. It gives us a starting point. And let's go ahead and copy this, and let's paste it in each one of these here, except for the hover state. Let's click over here. Now it's gotten rid of our padding and margin. You do see our bullets hanging out here, so let's go ahead and get rid of those. And if you haven't done a navigation, horizontal navigation that is, with CSS and lists, this will probably be a little new to you, but this is the way it's commonly done. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do the list style property and make it none. And that's going to get rid of our bullet, and then we're going to change our display to inline. That's starting to come together here. Now here you need to make some decisions, because we need to make some padding and or margins here between the lettering or the words. And what you need to decide now is, do you want the text itself to be the link, or do you want to have the area around it be also the link? So when you come up here into the black right below home, is that going to be the link? Is your cursor going to turn into an arrow or to a finger, or do you have to be on the home text? And for now, we'll make it so that you have to be on the text in order for it to be the link. So for that, we're going to add the padding to the list item itself and not the link. So let's go ahead, and for now, let's just add a 20 pixel padding on both sides. There you go. And we are going to tweak that later. But what we do need to do now is we need to come up here to our main nav rule, and we're going to go ahead and float this. So float right, and if you click over here, now we're floating right. But what we also need to do is float this image. So float left. And now we have them side by side, and we can start doing some manipulation here. And let's go ahead and add a margin 25 pixels all the way around and just see where it puts us. That's pretty close too. Let's go ahead and do 28. That's about where I want to be at the moment. Once we start changing the font, we'll have to make some adjustments. Let's go ahead and do what we did up here and Do the opposite here. So we're going to do 28, 28, 28, and 0. So now we have our link set up here. Let's go ahead and first change the color, and we're going to change the color of the link itself. So color, we're just going to make it white. So now we can see them a little better. We're going to go ahead and strip the default underline, so we'll do text decoration, none. We'll go ahead and make this bold. So font dash weight is bold. And we're going to flip over to Photoshop, come over to our template, zoom out. Let's take a look at what this navigation looks like here. I believe we were using Helvetica. Yes, we were. And zoom in here, we'll get our marquee tool and just kind of get the height of this here, and it's 13 pixels. So let's see if that's accurate. For some reason I don't think that's accurate. So we'll say font size 13 pixels, and we need to change the family, font family, and we'll do this Tribucket, or however you say it. I'm always going to mess that up, and Helvetica since we're using a PC. And we want to make the text transform uppercase, and that is pretty close, but I want to make it a little bigger. Let's go ahead and try 16 pixels. And actually looks like we're not even bold, so let's take the bold off and just call it normal. Yeah, it's starting to come around. Let's go ahead and try 18 pixels. And let's stick with that for now. Now, normally I'd have all this planned out to begin with, but I'm showing you how to kind of test things and get an idea for what you've got. And let's go ahead and we'll make the padding, the margin on the top and bottom 30. Let's see where that puts us. A little more in the center there. Let's go ahead and for the hover state, let's turn the text decoration back to underline so we get that subtle rollover effect. And in the next video we'll continue on with the CSS. Let's go ahead and save this.